In 1923, in the quiet town of Silverton, Oregon, a small dog began one of the most remarkable journeys ever told. His name was Bobbie. During what was meant to be a joyful family trip, he was lost, thousands of kilometers away from home. Yet, against all odds, the unthinkable happened. Alone, Bobbie crossed more than 4,000 kilometers. Through towering mountains, across rivers, over barren deserts, and into the heart of raging snowstorms. All for one reason: to return to the family he loved. This is the miraculous journey of Bobbie, the Wonder Dog. Bobbie, a sturdy little collie with bright, lively eyes, was more than just a pet. To the Brazier family, he was a loyal companion, a beloved friend, and an inseparable part of their home. Each day, he played joyfully with the little girl in the yard, and at night, he curled up beside the warm fireplace, the very heart of family life. That summer, the Braziers set out on a long road trip to Indiana to visit relatives. The journey took them through endless forests, across scattered small towns, along dusty dirt roads where automobiles were still rare sights. Bobbie was thrilled, his head poking out of the car window, ears flapping in the wind, tail wagging with excitement. Yet, on their long journey home, as they paused in a small unfamiliar town in Indiana, an unforeseen misfortune befell them. In a moment of confusion, Bobbie was lost. The family searched frantically, down every street, speaking with strangers, calling his name, but he was nowhere to be found. Heartbroken, they were forced to leave, hoping against hope that someone kind might take him in. What they could not imagine was that this moment of loss would mark the beginning of an extraordinary journey, one that would stretch across thousands of miles. The first steps were hesitant, but soon Bobbie began to remember each direction, each turn. Sometimes he wandered into small towns, where the clatter of horse-drawn wagons echoed on cobblestone streets. Townsfolk stared at the thin, stray dog, but occasionally, a kind soul smiled and tossed him a piece of bread. On some nights, Bobbie found shelter in an abandoned barn, curling up on dry straw. On others, he endured pouring rain, his body soaked and shivering. Each morning, as the first rays of sunlight broke the sky, Bobbie pushed himself up and walked on toward the horizon, even though the road stretched endlessly ahead. On this journey, his longing to be reunited with his family was the single flame that kept him moving forward. Bobbie's journey was anything but easy. The small dog had to face freezing winter nights, blizzards that buried the roads, and scorching days across dry plains. Many times, Bobbie collapsed in exhaustion, yet instinct and the love for his family urged him to rise and keep moving westward. Along the way, he was attacked by stray dogs, tormented by hunger and thirst, and at times seemed unable to go on. But in his eyes, the burning desire to return home never faded. On his thousands of miles journey, Bobbie did not face only hunger and danger, he also found unexpected kindness from strangers. A poor farmer shared with him a piece of dry bread, a little girl offered him a bowl of fresh water, and even railroad workers lit a fire to warm him and shared their meager food. Everywhere Bobbie stopped, he left behind admiration and compassion in people's hearts. No one knew where he was heading, but all could feel the strength of loyalty guiding his every step. Ahead of him, new challenges were quietly taking shape. Bobbie had to cross towering mountains blanketed in snow, where icy winds cut through his fur and made each step heavier. Many times, he was nearly buried in violent blizzards but managed to dig his way out. Crossing frozen rivers, his little legs trembled, yet his eyes remained fixed on the path ahead. Then came the scorching deserts, where heat and thirst drained his strength. But with extraordinary determination, Bobbie pressed on, enduring the unforgiving forces of nature, guided only by one unwavering belief: he had to return home. After countless months and miles, Bobbie's weary paws had touched more lands than one could imagine. There were times when his strength nearly gave out. But one evening, as the sun dipped low in the west, something stirred within him. A faint scent carried on the breeze, the outline of trees, the sight of wooden fences along the road, each detail awoke memories of home. The little dog's heart began to race, his tired eyes glowing with newfound hope. Hunger and exhaustion seemed to fade, replaced by overwhelming joy. Bobbie knew he was close now. This path would lead him back into the arms of the family he loved. The familiar road finally led Bobbie back to Silverton. His little heart pounded wildly, as if it would leap out of his chest. With hurried steps and shining eyes, he dashed toward the beloved house, the place where so many memories lived. The door swung open. The Brazier family froze, eyes brimming with tears as they saw Bobbie, thin, covered in dust and scars of the journey, yet his eyes shone with pure joy. In that instant, no one could hold back anymore. They cried out, rushing to embrace Bobbie. Tears and laughter blended together. Arms wrapped tightly around him, his rough fur soaked with tears and kisses. Every pain, every mile, every lonely night faded away, leaving only one eternal truth: Bobbie had come home, to the place he truly belonged, his family's love. Bobbie's story did not end with that reunion. From Silverton, his miraculous journey spread across America, touching millions of hearts. The press hailed him as the Wonder Dog, a living symbol of loyalty and perseverance. The people of Silverton built a monument in his honor, ensuring that future generations would remember the small dog who traveled over 2,500 miles just to return home. At Bobbie's grave, thousands of visitors and animal lovers came to light candles, to whisper stories to their children about a heart that never gave up. Though Bobbie has long passed, his legacy lives on. For sometimes, the love and loyalty of a dog can teach us more than any book ever could. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Every view, every heart that connects is a little light that keeps us going. See you again in the next story from the Paul Light.